From the time that Sir Lewis announced that he was leaving Mercedes for Ferrari, Toto has been spiraling as he was failing to put out fires that he had lit himself. He tried unsuccessfully to defend himself and Mercedes from accusations that they were sabotaging the Ferrari-bound driver, but the allegations grew stronger throughout the season, as Mercedes stumbled from incident to incident. From failing to inform the Ferrari designate of his teammates' race strategy, to keeping his tires at the wrong temperature, suggesting that he was past his shelf life, etc., etc. The spiraling culminated in yet another public apology for an admittedly inexcusable and idiotic Mercedes mistake in the last race of the season, ironically enough at Abu Dhabi. It is therefore keeping in character for Toto to have let slip during one of his statements about Sir Lewis's exit, that Mercedes could possibly be engaging in breaching the cost cap that F1 introduced to level the playing field, using the same format that his football team Manchester City allegedly adopted to breach the financial fair play, FFP regulations, that the Premier League introduced to level the playing field. But before going into the details, we would like to urge those of you who haven't yet done so, to sign our online petition for an inquiry into the BBC and Channel 4's coverage of Lewis Hamilton and Abu Dhabi. A link has been provided in the description. If you are on X, then please repost our tweet. Thank you. In our previous video, we highlighted how far Mercedes have fallen under Toto's management, by pointing out how Sir Lewis as a Ferrari driver is now expected to be involved in the title race this season, and the absence of such expectation for Mercedes or any of its drivers. We also pointed out how they lost sponsors and sponsorship revenue following the GOAT's exit. Astonishingly, in what could turn out to be a most damaging revelation, Toto has unwittingly self-snitched on how Mercedes could possibly be involved in breaching the cost cap, by utilizing City's playbook. The links between City and Toto are extensive and a matter of public record. He has spoken at great length about his friendship with their manager Pep Guardiola, who he credited for influencing his calamitous decision to offer Sir Lewis the 1+1 year contract that facilitated the GOAT's exit. He claimed he did this because of his concern about his driver's shelf life, but then quickly had to withdraw the claim. He also credited Pep for his decision to not make any attempt to convince the GOAT to stay. For the record, we believe that this was Toto yet again, talking out of his backside for the benefit of the media, because Sir Lewis only informed him after the Ferrari deal had been done, so he did not have the option of convincing him to stay. Toto also stated that his friendship and support for Pep and City would not have allowed him to co-invest in their bitter rival Manchester United, alongside Jim Ratcliffe, who owns 1/3 of Mercedes F1 through his company INEOS. Of course, the irony that no self-respecting manager of either team would have allowed an iconic player to transfer directly to their rival was lost on Toto. Furthermore, United gave City a sound thrashing at their own home this season. We became aware of another critical link between Toto and City, after our attention was drawn to it by our good friend James Atkins, who is referenced in the description. We happened to be aware that Paul Harris, the barrister mentioned in his video titled, "Biggest Sporting Scandal Ever Revealed," who represented Mercedes in Abu Dhabi back in 2021, is also one of the barristers defending City in the FFP case. Now, we get to the part where we will require those of you who have any knowledge to contribute what you have in the comment section. We look forward to reading what you have to say and/or reveal. Sir Jim is both an owner and sponsor of Mercedes F1, as INEOS is listed as a principal partner. We would therefore ask if there is any other F1 team where the owner is also doubling as a sponsor. INEOS doubling as Mercedes owner and sponsor only became significant after the cost cap was introduced in 2021. This is because there appear to us to be grey areas in the definitions of the reporting group of an F1 team, whose total costs are subject to the cap. It is clear that INEOS is an entity within the Mercedes F1's legal group structure, whose costs have to be carefully defined as some may fall inside or outside the cost cap. But here's the thing, in the annual report for the year ending 2023, Toto referenced the notice that Sir Lewis gave in February 2024, but carelessly highlighted the fact that there is some opacity about how Mercedes categorizes sponsors, that could possibly provide a moral risk of circumventing the cost cap, in the same way that City allegedly circumvented the FFP regulations. To illustrate the opacity, Toto stated that they welcomed 7 new commercial partners, but as you can see from the table provided, the company welcomed 8, including the Ritz-Carlton. Here's where it starts to get interesting. The Ritz-Carlton is a wholly owned subsidiary of Marriott, so you can see why Toto and Mercedes considered them one and the same. However, in 2021 and 22, Mercedes listed INEOS as principal partner, and its wholly owned subsidiary Belstaff as a standalone team partner. So, in one instance a subsidiary is a standalone sponsor, and in another instance, rated same as the parent company. For the record, City was accused of circumventing the FFP rules because its owners, the United Arab Emirates, used state-owned subsidiaries to front as sponsors, thereby allowing the appearance that City was generating sponsorship from standalone companies on a genuine commercial basis. This allowed the club to inflate its sponsorship revenue superficially and thereby spend more than it would have been able to under the FFP. Critically, even though F1 operate a fixed cap rather than the percentage of revenue operated by the Premier League, the ability to redefine sponsors and owners provides Mercedes the opportunity to circumvent the cost cap by reclassifying or rerouting its costs through partners and their subsidiaries. Furthermore, Sir Jim has investment vehicles that can be linked to past and present sponsors. For example, Solera and Qualcomm, who design Snapdragon, are Mercedes sponsors that have links to the US law firm Paul Weiss, in much the same way as Toto, Pep, Mercedes, and City have links to Monkton Chambers. So, this is another avenue through which influence can be peddled to circumvent the cost cap. All in all, it appears to us that someone needs to take a closer look at what is going on at Mercedes, to check their compliance with the cost cap. Forza Ferrari.